Hi guys, another day, another charity shop. A little bit frustrating this one. As you can probably see, a helicopter, nanocopter. Cost me £5 from Sue Ryder Care, another charity shop. What's frustrating about it? Well, if you've watched some of my recent videos, I found a little nanocopter on its own in a cheap box for, I think I paid 95p for it, with no transmitter, and none of my transmitters matched it, so I actually took it apart and used it for something else. But I did mention that it was a Silverlit helicopter. That was what was written on it. So I'm just wondering whether this transmitter would have worked with it. Bit late now because I've taken it apart, although I have still got the receiver, so I might give it a try, see if I can rig up the receiver on its own and see if this transmitter works with it. Still, we'll take this out the box and probably have to put some batteries in it, I expect. Oh, it's all sealed up. Yeah, I'll unseal it, put some batteries in it and see if it actually flies. I'm going through this, taking it out of the box. I don't think this has ever been used. This is the original tape on it, I think. Well, we'll find out in a minute. Well, if it has been used, whoever used it kept absolutely everything. There's even the little plastic insulator there. Well, it's got batteries in it. There's absolutely no sign of any damage or wear or anything. I think this is brand new in the box and somebody's donated it to the charity shop. A little bit disappointed with this. It doesn't appear to be taking charge at all. Green light doesn't come on. I've actually tried it with a separate charger and nothing's happening. So, the only thing left to do is to split it apart and have a look at the LiPo battery inside. So that's what we're going to do. Go along the seam. See if we can get in to the battery. There's the battery. Just there. Gonna have to ease it apart a bit more, I think, to get to it. That's a proper little LiPo battery with a circuit board there to protect it. I think the only thing I can do is cut those wires. Maybe that will open it up a bit more. And oh yes, that's come apart now. go. Right. Well, in that case, now I've got it apart, I'll connect up to there and put my meter on it. Blue tack there to hold my meter in position. Right, that's straight across the battery, and we're getting nothing at all. Try and stick a couple of pins in there and see if we've got any power coming out. Getting desperate there, just check the meter's working. So Does that mean we're getting no charging current? Or it's just got some sort of protection circuit that's switching it off when I try and measure it? Certainly don't seem to be able to measure anything on it. Got one of my other transmitters here. I've plugged it in. And that one does appear to be putting some power in there. So we'll leave that for a few seconds, see if that charges it up. Make sure it's switched off. That's a bit more positive, that's going across the battery terminals. Interesting, the light's not come on. Well, we'll come back in a few minutes and see what's happened. Well, just to confuse things, let's switch that light off a second. This one that wasn't charging the new helicopter is charging the battery, LiPo battery in my flying car. So I don't know if there's just some loose wires in there or something. Let's put some charge in there anyway. I've given it about 5 or 10 minutes of charge, which is nothing really, but when I measure across the battery I've got absolutely nothing there. I would have thought I'd have got at least something. But there's nothing there, so I think that little battery's had it as well. I'll rig up a little temporary fix so I can put a battery on here and see if at least the transmitter and receiver work. I've just put a connector on there so I can plug in a separate battery. That's a bit more like it. So, Duff battery. I don't know if I can get any that small. I keep pinching them out of other nanocopters for other purposes. But at least we know what's wrong with this battery. Because it wasn't taking charge from this charger, and yet this will charge other planes, as you saw, other batteries. It did say 2006 on the box, so that could be very old, couldn't it? 9 years old. So I could put it back together now. Well, not much point, is there, because I don't have a battery for it, because it's not going to take that battery in that little in there. So in that case I'll have to leave it in pieces for now and see if we can get a replacement battery. What I might do is I might put a socket on the end of there, connector, so that I can connect it directly to a charger and see if it takes charge directly, because it could be the charging circuit in there. Although I don't think there is a charging circuit, it may just be directly connected. I can't quite see. Probably not being picked up on the camera, but I'm just checking the way the steering works, and it's just this variable thrust again. This one at the back slows down a bit or speeds up a bit, depending on which way you turn. But it's running all the time. Oh well, that'll do for now. I'll put it away and play with it another day. Just remembered I ought to do a charity shop gold or garbage comment. And being as it doesn't work, then it's got to be garbage, hasn't it? But again, as I keep saying, from my point of view, the good bits: working transmitter, working receiver, 2 motors that work, gearbox that works. So I can use this in another project, and it cost me a £5. So not bad. I have tried that transmitter with my other helicopters and none of them recognise it. I'm not sure if that's the receiver from the one I took apart the other day, but I'd have to do quite a bit of wiring there to find out if that one works with it. So, oh well, plenty of bits to play with.